be able to piano, now that's a piano. I said that. I said them. I mentioned I will go for sure. I mentioned
any assembly member or Bonkwaso electoral area Unmunya for Francisco. Akwada nyame ne yetae ede esanemrane pa na nakwasi kire ene de ensemi eba beso yen na owura set kwabenapoku eye pani kwantwerefo Die Grace Bakery wachire adoye sonko ede achire wona woyade ewo mu ani ewo Brim Central mensini mu epoye mantamu wachire mu a eka ani ana aka hwene ena wanya ma afoforo nso na eza wanya amatwedi amponyankopon nti eda bi sei no ya doye na ene wosa wo kire edema wunua na afi wo de sede eba saafo no anim enti watu anamompa ayi adoye ama naso saafo nyina eso a ye je na dwenkire ebisa ne se anamontwe ya wotu yeyi botaye no ene sen
de kama amasade wose ese enfie na ni no ye se abrabomu ohwe yare a eya pa eye ani obi a wo adwemu yare saafo no asem ayebobo pa nti bra o be tumo ni kama se ene de muso betumi bia meye amamu so kuma to afibia na muso omani aji bible say if adunu kwa adunu de shasese na every year bia ye make pictures ye dwane na ye take away the amount I feel you say be say at least etimi ma obia emo 5 kilo kwa ba ko any side ba ko a betimi de kofie no anoa na woni na
Brim Central mensin mu ewepoye mantamu wana wayade ewo wani a owura set kwabenapoku Chief Executive Officer Die Grace Bakery waye adoye ma ne so won so no wono no na dwenkire na yagede afa na doye ho no na owura ye Gladys Asiedu co-CEO Jubilee Hospital Achimda wono so eresansem
Ijinamuma Jubilee Hospital and pharmacy and Kennedy drugstore. Muna health organization, disability, blind for you know more Pambia, Afibia, you know Mushia. Now ye screening near dear mom, near no more cabo, near ye in Sawoswo, near GNE for Afeno. Internona I do day and near by Abbey. Now Miss Rena Miss next year no, you bet me I had the sensor. Last year, Michelle Boss. Ye the extra by Jubilee Hospital. Ye the aba. Na minim say ye be by this year ni ye be end the name koni ye bia no. Na by Easter time so ye see ye physical therapy, occupational therapy so. Eno no so be one penny for mahoden afofem ni ye training mo na mahoden na basro.
Enwachre titrani Emma Ghana Blind Union owura Fameye Michael Mieza wono so nsem enye.
Ye can say or so struja in Shirano. And so best in few best a moment of Faton who say, yeah, the home abatoma ewo ye new honor, the boy a fibia, the didio money no you not any jig me, and panso or shas, ye no near Hamodra, and no poor ye can say pono, or corner new Ukrainian meaning, the way and one my ye money I would dream. Ye becana say any Shirano, Uncle Swan Shira on in a bushia. That don't say on any and then a man a bushing, ye papa. Jubilee. On so the chibia no yemu oba na erade obehwe yi nyina se ne yapom ye esiti e for man nurses free ba the yes side in mind. On so be na se to for ba ye domina.
Titrani Emma Ghana Blind Union owura Fameye Michael Mieza ene enono kwabna fori Peace FM your reporter wono na dia maneboyi eba ebesomo yen na MTN Ghana for yen nyina nim se afibia wo motaye ade bia ya na eye fe pa se opemfo bi be kwa awo so na ono na awo na be kwa akohia December boso de to so aduonunum aya na eye omo fe etu omo bo modern no omo abode awura ya asabia dodo no amu eni omo timi kopie mu e konfa no che aban ya asabia omo timi kopie mu kolebu aban ya asabia omo ti kopie mu e wa ya asabia dodo no a wo my Ghana mu anom na che se omo akwa se akwada ba ne ye wo nenne ba tan ba ne wo nne na ne ho akyede wo mo de akọ e de amanti hampers de ene e kasasa ada ne pa 700 hampers ena afi we nso wo mo ekọ kopie mu wo konfa no che teaching hospital na afei eye Kumasi Pambaso Children Hospital no bronya da no wo mo ehwe ye ede echeche ye ema abatan ni nyina se nyankopon aso mo asomdwe mu a wo mo ne omo agi wo mo ani abomu na fei wo ma mo tiri nkwa MTN Ghana area sales manager Asante and afe Buno region ora Obed Edu Amankwa ne nsem eni
Etene MTN ye gidi se bronya no enye se adidie ene onom keke eye mra ye chaade mra ye adoye because Jesus Christo na onu ntie ye no ono no sa na obeye ye odne ho ba afore ma adasa e wo wiase nyina nti MTN mfie dunani afi bia ye cheche hampa e mankwala ye de mo 26 omo ye wo mo 25 bronya danankasa afi MTN ye che hampesen kwa adioso that is 700 Northern Ghana ye che 310 and Ashanti ye che 70 currently you come for not yes I know ye gidi say we give back to the society but society for na me aye dia ye ebo makumum that is the essence of Christmas.
And what you ora Docas Asamoah Nyameche nurse manager for operations gynecology ora Docas Asamoah Nyameche nurse manager for operations and gynecology Comfanochi teaching hospital what they ensem etuja.
So other corporate institutions, they can also be doing that. They can also emulate MTN for what they've been doing for the newborn babies as well as even their mothers and even Comfanochi. So whenever they have, they should try as much as possible to come and help us, especially with our mothers, so that whatever they need, even more than hampers, we'll appreciate. Some are not able to pay their bills, so if they can even do that for us. Some stay here for more than a month, so after the assessment, it becomes very difficult for them to pay the bills. So if they can do that for us, we'll appreciate.
Any ayati ora Docas Asamoah Nyameche nurse manager operations and gynecology Comfanochi Abaya Sabia. MTN Ghana ena womo ede adoye sonkokoma awofo ya ye de ehun nsem amamo ne yama ne bofo Kenneth Oben ena de nsemi eba beso abusiafo we eye enen nsem a ebe kan yen ensa ene yabomu ede amamo no ye twa ye hutia wasema eni botata ye san abazisi ya na afei ye de wado asuko ede akọ January bosomi mu February bosomi March bosomi na afei wahun de etwagu ye e wo sa bosomi mu yesra woni entra ye ba
Peace FM. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion.
So I come and show. And I bought peri the Bronican hardware no. At the end of the say, that's how we am so timswe.
We're packing a farmer, Martin's liver salt, a term, as she and share with glass more at a Martin's liver salt, no back one, no, now dear goom.
Ubahun say, who a glass in the moon. Now one no. Martin's liver salt, you want orange flavor, and a bacosia plain.
One more, Hobato, name Edina, no, now home to war, who doctor.
It no be any pipe be pipe. It be DPS pipe be the original. Call 0543 662727. And they tell you again. It no be any pipe be pipe. It be DPS pipe be the original. Call 0543 662727. DPS pipe connecting you to life.
Bronya Brie, spices are you know and Aljuta seasoning powder. It's a secret filler bio. Nema taste ni ye deep.
Produyanti, Chayana Midday. Aljuta seasoning powder. Emma Wabiani taste ni ye deep.
Bronya Brie, spices are you know you near Aljuta seasoning powder. It's a secret filler bio. Nema taste ni ye deep.
Produyanti, Chayana Midday. Aljuta seasoning powder. Emma Wabiani taste ni ye deep. Ubenyebu German Sunni supermarket beer bell. FDA agitating cratoyato. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury acrylic paint. No be any paint, be paint.
The luxury acrylic paint.
Paint me champion. When you are going to buy a paint, don't look left, don't look right. Go straight and grab the luxury allowance paint. No be any paint be paint. The luxury acrylic paint mu champion.
Peace. Turn it up. Peace FM. Off the mark.
Yamagana this year nyina kwa babiem e de ba ye prem to bre Akan kase bo so e wo peace 104.3 needs 100.9 okay 101.7 FM hello 101.5 Shape House Abeka Junction yet 17 so de amamo na fei ye de wado asuko e de akwa January bosomi mu ensemben ene ye de somo Yakan kase bo mu e wo yen kase bo awodo enyina emu na se ye beka ye January bosomi mu no ene eyade a ye mampani John Dramani Mahama Ghana PSA wo shia empanifo a eno ne executive committee na afei National House of Chiefs edit to wo manim se obebo modern na afei wahwe se wo beji adwinseso ya wodo no ane adwempa wodo no na afei watimi edi ayensa kyereye ewo eye yamamra ye de boy ho bra ewo Manchester Ghana mu.
The issue of chieftaincy disputes has become a major issue. Anytime a chief passes away and a new chief has to be selected, invariably 2 rival chiefs or 3 rival chiefs suddenly appear. In the 1992 Constitution, it was decided from the unpleasant experiences of the past where government used to interfere in chieftaincy matters to
na January boso me kro no amu so na yanti asem papa ewo eye Accra Kantamanto baby adwadifo eri wo honom ma ehye wonoma se edwure be ye mampani John Dramani Mahama kopie mu wo honom enuomo ekokasai.
Just this morning, we heard about Techiman Market to a fire in Techiman Market. So it looks like it's something that is going to continue, and so we need to take quick steps. And so I've asked the security to arrange with the various security services to tighten security around major markets.
January boso me kro no amu no eda etoso enso ye mampani John Dramani Mahama ye mane eso afnemu eso aye mane be ye omampani prekope edema omantiasema Ghana.
Of the nominees and extremely parties. Members of the committee were shouted at by the chairman. You all witnessed how the member for Etiwa East, the Honorable Abuna Osei Asa, was shouted at in an attempt to protect the nominees. The chairman denied legitimate members of the committee the opportunity to ask relevant questions and railroaded the nominees through the process. It must be noted that the altercation between us
Enya yeti ye mampani John Dramani Mahama na sansemi January bosomi mu no yamane bofo Salamat kukwa pentil ena ede esumo yen na January bosomi kro no amu ena Owura Oliver Baka Vomawo ene wo kire mu se wo kokuchiri ensem kayen mienu ba kubi ede eto ni social media handle wo kire mu se appointment committee no awo mo na se bedwam mo tutu ngofo anu no wo mo je adamude ene ye ma ne be sana no pa achew ewo sa ensem no enyina ho a eno so si wo January bosomi mu.
That my post was not intended to disparage members of the committee, and I have not intended to say that members of this committee have received or demanded bribes from various individuals. At no point was my statement intended to communicate same. And for those reasons, I apologize. Mr. Chair, the reason why I have left the post on and not deleted it, in fact, I did contemplate it, was because I saw that the words had been twisted and that it became imperative on me that I maintain the post in its original form. That if I was questioned on it, reference can be made to be able to verify it. This is the reason why it wasn't deleted.
So now that it's been resolved, will you want to pull it down?
Mr. Chair, I am happy to. As the conversation has generated, as indicated, and the clarity has been brought to it, I'm happy to.
Joe,
January boso me kro no amu ena ne edom kuma wo mra hye bedwamu wo mo de so mo bokọ ye de ma titinani a wada appointment committee no ano awo no asa agina mu se first deputy speaker of parliament Onimonyamfo Bernard Anyafo se asa ne ne ye bi aya na wo ye de tia edom kuma mra hye bedwamu no enhye da emfasa se wo mo nyina atoto nipa no na so edu mo de so a mo abre kuma bi sa no manum eno no ekaze
30 of the nominees and extremely parties. Members of the committee were shouted at by the chairman. You all witnessed how the member for Etiwa East, the Honorable Abuna Osei Asa, was shouted at in an attempt to protect the nominees. The chairman denied legitimate members of the committee the opportunity to ask relevant questions and railroaded the nominees through the process.
Na enia yeti ye appointment committee member and as a chairman first deputy speaker of parliament Onmunyamfo Bernard Anyafo and watch and a minority leader and ranking member appointment committee Alexander Afenyomakins one also the ensem be account
more draconian than those he would scrap. We cannot give with his right hand and take back with his left hand. The integrity of the finance minister designate was again called into question when he provided incorrect data in response to a question about some misleading data he had used in 2019. The minister designate clearly sought refuge in IMF data, which turned out to be different from what he presented.
January Bosome Krono Amuno, and minister designate foreign affairs, Ora Samolokujo to Ablakwa, Sabreno. Wachirema wase de eya na ni gie pa wo kwan ya chese wafa so a wo mo ayi no se wono na enda operation recover all loot committee no ano no a eya ne fekura keke.
Let us not overlook the substance of these answers as we consider the path forward for our energy sector. In the case of the Attorney General and Minister for Justice, the Honorable Dr. Dominic Ayine, it is clear he finds himself in a conflict of interest position. His law firm and he personally are representing companies that have filed arbitration claims in excess of over 500 million United States dollars. Can Ghanaians go to sleep believing that their money will be safe and that it will not be stolen through payment of dubious judgment debt?
Bosome Krono Amuno, yes. One more share Sikasam and to Yansam so Ministry of Finance. One more Edan Ghana Gold Board Committee in Wadia, Wababeshe, a good year, Atina ye, and in the Jumedia and some na fine yon sono, etimi ade di se pefe. Kodrum pempen so be said dan den nyina yebemu sa asrafo ati wo mu agukrom no wo mo na ebeto ban age ban wo se edrum pempen so bi a e wo se ehunu se eya posi fo ebeto nsa de afra wo mo no wo ma baba be hwa ma bambo nsem ni asomdwe nsem no eyi niti.
We need to understand the doctrine, the philosophy of a soldier. They are not trained principally to be enforcing law and order in the way that the police personnel. I mean, I'm very sure you agree with me that throughout your stay as the Minister for Defense, you hardly came across soldiers who were holding handcuffs. And I'm very sure right here, that is the situation.
Na January Bosome Krono Amuso manfo be kai asabra no na ablekuma coalition exercise no na sheda emo ano sa entia ne nam so ema echitafo ma NDC amanyoku MPP amanyoku won nyina kwobo pinchan eye abato komisa no office ya no wo enkran ema ehon so ensem atodwa.
Not taking any action. People think they can subject Parliament and turn Parliament into a punching bag. This is unfortunate. And I'm told she's a lawyer. I was surprised the attitude she put up. So I am respectfully bringing this to your notice. Further invite you, pending the formation, I'm fully aware we have not constituted our committee. So pending the formation of the privilege committee, I am inviting you and making pleadings to you. And I know you are one person, you are very passionate about Parliament and the respect that we should command in society as an arm of government. I'm humbly inviting you to make consequential orders to ensure that this matter is dealt with ultimately. I am a man who respects womanhood. So in the face of extreme provocation, I just kept my calm, I kept my cool and walked away. But this abuse is a potential abuse on any of us in this chamber. And I invite my colleagues to speak in corroboration, speak in support of this action that I'm inviting Speaker.
Na ewo January Bosome Krono Amuo no ene onumonyafo anodompre wo report say attack bi akwo ne so a kyerɛ sɛ vetting committee no ɛne wɔde kɔkɔto wɔn anim ɛma speaker ɛkasa fa ho.
Physical altercation
vested in it by virtue of Article 122 of the 1992 Constitution. And Mr. Speaker, contempt, you have been a torchbearer of wanting to preserve the honor and dignity of Parliament, the honor and dignity of members of
January Bosome Kronwa Muani Anye appointment committee one meeting I say pinso so man for Bekaya maybe Pejan Konya Yatiti cables and in Yakaka can one and so Emma Nyinaso Speaker of Parliament Right Honorable Aban Kings Osman Abagmin was suspended MPs Yawodwo and 9 beer Ninja Honsem Ebai. Na January Bosome Kronwa Musoman for Bekaya Ghana National Association of Teachers ayi trinity awan nat womo edi adesrede atu dwa say adentina aban no nyensa kyeraye e wo free senior high school policy nimu na enkoba se womu betimi atua womu ma fees no womu ntimi ntua na mobrofo ni mom no womu nya free senior high school no mfa ma womu na nka ntimi emwa ehun sem etodwa
Baby, free education, no, it's good. Obeying home of Becca is a free education yet. But your woman said, one omobet me a chiano, a say pequeen be an yedi imrebi, a two quem, so one omobet me a chiano. Omuntiana, Vansha, one omun to mintia. That is the principle of equity, and only a friend say equity. One omobet chiano, one as one omobet me a chiano, a so money I contribute to never Vansha, one omuntimi a chia. Self equality principle now, yet running free SHS. Anything you see a review policy, no, you see a review policy, no. Now, number 1, sustainable education. Number 2, you share quality. Number 3, you share resources now. You debate education. Anyhow, I say one bet me chian. I say more money.
January Bosome Kronwa Mono, Omanfo Ebeka Yea. Eye Omampeni Dada, John Ekufu Ado. Ene ni hon ni bia na ya CDC Ghana ntwea so bie omanfo ko wo mo ya ni te basapa ye ko abonte kwakwaje omanfo adwenkyere e de fa ho ma Ghana fo e kire wo mo adwene esei
wo possible to fetch onya bia abone oya bia abone ogbogunu ma na ezba mo oju ma na sumo no na sesi a we bu ye kwa wan ya do kam kwan ko mo nsiri ko so so na la. To
me, it's not good at all for the citizens to destroy this. It was placed there by the certain chiefs of Western Region to honor the ex-president Akufo-Addo for his achievement and the development he has done for Western Region. It's also not good because we don't wait for people to die before we honor them. So those who did it should bow their head in shame. Akan ye statue, e finish kwani wi na I statue, ni ngure ye benefit won. Na dey benefit beli be biara, na bu statue na yanso wan fa. Mas we bu.
Then the Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools, I trying to our chance. One more ede etu just say enuane a waso am de kɔ and was also good who do mo nyina no woma bomoden ahwe aye ne sa pepepe.
Yes, we as at yesterday in the night, as late as 10 o'clock, some of the schools confirmed that they have received various quantities of rice, especially schools in the Greater Accra region. So we want to believe that. And we also got information that they have dispatched vehicles to every part of the country. So we hope that from us, it started yesterday, it should continue in that same trend. And we hope that by close of day tomorrow, which is a Saturday, all schools should have received.
Enya yeti General Secretary, Conference of Heads of Assisted Senior High Schools. Ora Primus Barrow. Nene enono. Ebusiafo January de ye no ho opusu nya kan obusu minimu ne ye de asomo ne ye twasi ofrawo ye be san abasisi ana fe ye de February de aba besomo oni ye ntena ye be sisia. Na kwa babiem de ba ye prem te bra kan kasebo eso na ye to aso de amamo February boso memu ensam be na ye no opusu nyaka e wo ye kan kasebo mu ensam awdo bi asi wo mu ene ye beka ye mampani John Dramani Mahama wɔde to dwa a wei no wɔne nananom hemfo ne adehye a ɛwɔ atɔyɛ mantamu ahyiaeɛ na wɔde to dwa sɛ wɔhwɛ sɛ July bosome da edi kan no yɛbɛtumi ayɛ no ɔman mu ni nyinaa da yɛde betu asi wɔ no mabɔ mpaeɛ no yɛde ada twedi ampo Nyankopɔn ase.
It's a planning committee. This situation has led to many independent power producers and fuel suppliers threatening to cease their operations. Mr. Speaker, listen to this. Despite collecting over 45 billion cedis in energy sector levies, ESLA, over the last 8 years, the outgone administration has left the Ghanaian people with an energy sector burdened with a staggering debt of 70 billion cedis as of December 2024. It is of deep concern that several state-owned enterprises in the energy sector are struggling to stay afloat, and unless urgent interventions are made, many of them will go under. Financial distress in the energy sector remains a significant obstacle to delivering consistent and affordable electricity to Ghanaians, and it poses an existential threat to our economy in general. Compounding these challenges, critical maintenance activities, such as the scheduled pigging of the West African gas pipeline, work.
So ede enshawo do awagidi se wadi gu akwan mebetimi aboa ma woni ni atena ye nso agina na so nso emayen.
Administration has had to swiftly mobilize resources to secure emergency fuel supplies to ensure that electricity generation continues despite the closure of the West African gas pipeline. I've been informed that the pigging exercise will be completed in the first week of March, and once again, additional gas will flow from Nigeria, anticipating a marked improvement in the power situation once this begins. While the current state of our energy sector poses grave concerns, we must remain resolute in our commitment to restoring stability.
Yaman Penny John Dramani Mahama Nene Enono we nyina wadi to dwa State of the Nation addresser wode eba ye wo February bosome no emu ya to so e de amamu a February bosome kro no amu no ena Dr. Esiama enye wo kire mu a wo mo eyi no se wo ma meye Ghana sika krabia no Penny kwantwerefo baba beda no brane pa na yade a minority anase dom kuma omra se bedwa mu kasafa ho mu kire mu se wo mo ma papa we baba be ye bog Penny a ebe ha o my Ghana sika sempa.
Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Johnson Esiama, the former second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, until his nomination was standing trial in the courts of Ghana for various criminal offenses, including fraudulent breach of trust, money laundering, conspiracy to commit crime, and violations of the Bank of Ghana Act. Regrettably, these charges were withdrawn by President Mahama a few days to the nomination of Dr. Esiama to the high office of the governor of the Central Bank.
Na February bosome kro no amu no MPC ahodo enan bia eye Right Honorable Akan Sosumana Babin etwe wonsen san wondwumadi ensam so enam sakasaka ye bi omma no yi ni ti e wa appointment committee dwumadi ensam wase no eyade a ene wosan so eyi sa tabono no e de free won so.
So please, you can ask your leaders when they approach me with this. Yes, as a father, when your son commits an offense, you don't punish the son to the extent that you break his or her leg. That becomes a big problem for you, the father. And nobody is perfect. We are all fallible. So I listened to the apology, and here it was repeated by the minority leader for and on behalf of the members of the caucus and supported. Before me, they demonstrated and assured me of their total support to me and the deputy speakers to ensure that we have an efficient and an effective functioning parliament.
February boso me kro no amu no edom kuma wo mra shebedwa mu wo mo e kire mu wo ne aban na nkɔ ne da kɔ okura se ede anti na eye kwaduba wodo a wo mo de ekɔ boye ma NDC amanyokuo efuo bi na afei aban mu adwumayefo bi no wo otumi yi sa charges ni nyina clear se clearing agent eno no ase kire sen.
We make the following urgent demands. 1. Immediate arrest and persecution of the perpetrators. The individuals behind this shameful act, including Zuba, must be arrested immediately and made to face the full rigors of the law. Ghana is governed by laws, not thugs. We demand justice, and we demand it now. Number 2, swift resumption of the electoral process. The Electoral Commission must ensure that this election is concluded transparently and fairly, so that the true choice of the people prevails. We will not allow intimidation to dictate election results in the Ashanti region. 3, total rejection of Zuba for any purported appointment in the Ashanti region. A man who...
February boso me kro no amu no Ashanti Regional Council of State Elections ko so ema sakasaka ye bi eyiniti e wo hono na NPP Ashanti Region eye won mo fan wo hono na say NPP amanyokuo fan won mo Asante Mantamu e kasa de tie ase saade na e ko so no na entwa yi kura
cases bi go ha aban na otiji sia ese ompese atene general aban lawyer panyini a ono na ogina nyina na mu a ono adu makogina court omo yi sa cases ni ya bo bi case etia John Esiama Kate etia in the storms former state boss case etia John I think Richard Japa any cases a Midday kan board ni nyina o se sa fo ni nyina waja wo mu na de ha ne se wo yo man a ye chichira esi so bi ye bone a yemfa no kokko na court buanu bema na court buanu fa eno na ye nyina indi so
na wo February boso me kro no amu no na minority edom kuma wo mra shebedwa mu wo mo ekire mu a aban ne wo mu ani ni ye se abandada ni free aban mu no wo ya appointment bi na ehun yiya se abanhofro na eba no wo beba be hwehwe asafo ni nyina to ase akonwa no aka se bi a ya gi won dibire ne de free wo mo nse no de afofra ba be hye wo no nanso wo ye ne sa wo kire mu a na enye.
Let us be very careful as a nation. The goodwill our friends have must not erode rather too early or rather too soon. Again and again, to conclude, I know Mr. Julius Zebra, he himself is a private sector person. He's a businessman who knows how when somebody is employed, it adds value to the economy. So I do not think he had intended that people who have gone through aptitude tests, gone through interviews, should be sent home. But it is all over the place. It is all over the place that our countrymen and women, our youth, are being sent home. They went to office, they were asked to come home with these letters.
Na enwachwe no ene edom kasia no ba no dani olmonyamfo mahama yarga ekire mu sei wo mo twom mutan ne betene tenten ya pa kura no a ginesie no mo asie na no ano mo asi.
And they were cautioning you during transition to be circumspect with your recruitment exercise, and you said you will not do it. What makes you think that today will allow those recruitments to stay? I think that what the Chief of Staff has done is proper. It is consistent with good governance, and we will review the recruitments that took place, and we will reverse them as indicated. I was in this house when the Minister for Interior came and said he was going to recruit people into the security agencies. During the transition meetings, we cautioned him, please do not proceed with the recruitment.
In this house, we said even if you have to recruit, go through the proper advertisements. Mr. Speaker, if we go and we want to interrogate a lot of the recruitments that took place, you will realize clearly that those recruitments amounted to abuse of discretion. There was no proper advertisement. There were no proper advertisements. People sat down and then just agreed among themselves, brought together family members, brought together foot soldiers, and then they went and recruited them.
Na eno achire no enenye edom kasia no ba no danim na hyebedwom monyamfo mahama ayarega wode tudwa say chase aposifo ne asrafo eboye di wura onmonyamfo kan ofori atane fie tom kwa yes akasaka wo hono na saade na ekoso no nyame anim no kuranie wo srada roma dabra kan sadansa yem wo momfa nche
with his IGP and I've spoken with the Minister of Defense, and all of them give their assurance to this House that a thing like that will not happen again. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me indicate to my colleagues on the other side that this side of the House remain committed to ensuring that this country is reset, that its institutions function properly, that regime of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Onmonyamfo Mahama yarga no si ya na ne edom kuma wo mra hyebedwamu won mo ba no dani onmonyamfo Alexander Afenyo Markins wono so ejina paso na ne ode abasobonsem ko ye de ma edom kase ne ba no dani se oye ade pa kwan wafa so a wadi edom kase no anim na sasem bi si a aya wo hunu kwan wafa so obedaadan no no otu chema no.
In the politics of our country is exemplary and must be commended. They shouldn't invade your law firm again. And to date, he's the only person I have a picture with in my office to celebrate that moment where he felt that an opponent should not be a target.
Na wo February boso me kro no amu no ene edom kuma wo mra hyebedwamu wo motenetene minority whip a wono asagye musa mra hyebedwani ensa wo mado agiri Ora Franka no don ready to just say state of the nation address ya mampeni de ba ne na enkuranhye nimu kura enya awrechichire
Uhwe ya edu baby no na is omo microphone kwaze na bi da. It was uninspiring and it wasn't motivating. Mampeni then candidate John Mahama Ijina simpie su kan sama kese bebre na wa na kan ozi MPP for ya say economy no ya say bibia etini ehwe anim se wo abana nioma nko yi a say economy yan dey said your kan dey anim say enani no ha e kan economy a wo say asay no bondholders ye ba ni etwa sikapuduo sinking fund ye di sikapuduo agumu ba ye no mo fa budget mba parliament mpo mo first budget mpo mo mba na so motimi tua bondholders ka dentia
na ne kasa no esiwie ye no na suafo a wo hwe apomudensam so ono asagire musam na hyebedwani dwaboso oru akwabena minta Akan do say na Sadia no ma etie motete pansa mu no gya ho no yi say no ana mampani begina simpie so wode atodwai gya de okeka no
na gara ni bia nim say ye economy no na enye nemom say ye ka kirewo se na esi apro a we mehyehyɛ eno na ehu ni ne no we ade pepe say oman no bia ye gina ni sikasam na enye kra ade ba ko a eye mede a mampani kan ne say Ose said yet see bia no ye be ni eno na wo se Ghana ni bia de atunti nemom I was say Magana for ehum ba bia ye be gia kunya no efriye ye ni a Ghana for na hu say ade we no mbagie na ade we no mo ye yi
na February boso me kro no amu no eye emnase bedwa mo chia me Speaker of Parliament Right Honorable Akan Osman Abagwen Ede kwakobonsam kwa yade ma eye empanifo a wono mo ewo mrahebedwam wo se sekoba ne se wo mo ye wo mo meeting BBAC NDC MPP o wan yi o na aya na se de ombese wo mo twetwetwe clerk fo ba mu na brabe kirem na brabe ese no wo se mo amunya mama ne amonka e mama ntwe clerk fo bi am no wo monka ho
I make this statement address conduct of some members of the Appointments Committee at a recent committee meeting and on various media space in the country. You recall the incident that we just referred to in what the majority leader referred to as an application for bail, and how it's usually submitted by counsels before a court. After my statement that day, that was Friday, my attention was brought to this incident. And as the Speaker of the House and Chairman of the Parliamentary Service Board, I strongly condemn that incident. The clerk to the Appointments Committee is a public servant and should not be dragged into the failure of the members of the committee to resolve their differences. This clerk has worked with us for 19 good years, and she is one of the best clerks that we have had.
Na wo February bosome kro no amu no na ne MPC ahodo enan bi a wo kyeremu se wo mo suspend wo mo anase speaker suspend no won se wo mo eye vetting omo veti MPC a na sakasaka ye bi siye sakasaka ye ni ni ti no na ye se MPC ahodo nan bi wo mo akwa akodim ena ne mama basabasa yesi wo appointment committee meeting no ase de a na wo se yetwem aso enti yetwe wo mo sensan ye MPC ahodo nan ewi eche no ena minority in parliament se de ekoso no wo mo anya de ekura na eni senka speaker etu sa na mo no isan se eye asem na siye ena bibisa ebaaye enti na ehu hia se obetu sa anamo no aye de ekoso no na eye February bosome kro no amu no February bosome kro no amu no ena ne former hard board wode babetu dwa se ase na ensensem bi etwagu se ye se eka bi eda ho no eno ne ye $5 million na wo baaye babeyi ne ho ano e wo sansem no.
Well, but the real figure is not that. It's 4-point-something million dollars. Hajj operations no send yet no problem be timi bamo. Currency fluctuations, nipa wamoni Hajj visa, wamukodi tourist visa, wamuko on the Hajj, which is illegal in Saudi Arabia anyway. A call Hajj conference, we agree on a quota ebe mine. Based on the quota, no services are provided to Saudi Arabia, no betrianing to me affecting more operations. 2016, Abanfo from Nubayeno, Omoba meeti a backlog of 452 prospective pilgrims are almost board no.
February bosome mu e de parliamentary stories e de baso mu nyina no ya ma ne bofo Emmanuel Akoli e na fe William Gentu e na wo mo de ensem ni nyina eba beso mo yen efrim na che bedwamu na kane attorney general ene wono so atu bi e de emane attorney general eye Dr. Ayene se edi enti ene be mo wagina wo na so no wai wadwen se high profiles bia and some would be a diabo on quadru, a diaba down war. Now, utumi cracker or mosa. We are claiming agent.
Such for the prosecution division. I challenge Dr. Ayene to produce such a memo for the examination of the public as they have started saying to the public at a press conference conducted by him as a basis for his impeachment actions. Previously, when probed further on that issue in the question session of the press conference, Dr. Ayene claimed that I might have disagreed with the memo.
Na February bosome kro no amu na ne obi a eba ne bambo nsem a wani mo de e wo mu owura Kofi wo Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center Dr. Victor Doke wo bo modene e de tu dwa se ho be nya se aban be ya nhwemu kase pa sa kanta fetisika bi a wo mo esizi ya wo gas out no na efrehe
yeah, forensic investigation. National Security Gasombeina. Share say counterfeit here. You gold bars here. Which of them are actually fake or original? Counterfeit. So do wanna if we can. Ma you channels from one containers documentation from source. And also.
Na February boso me kro no amu no na ne Office of the Special Prosecutor kwadubofo wa downson ene kane suafo na ohwe sikasam so former Minister of Finance Olmonyafo Kenoforiata will declare and say we are fugitive.
This person is wanted by the OSP to answer charges in respect of several cases, including the following. 1. Contractual arrangements between Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited and the Ghana Revenue Authority for the stated objective of the enhancement of revenue assurance in the downstream petroleum sector, upstream petroleum production, and minerals and metals resources value chain. 2. Termination of a distribution, loss reduction, and associated network improvement project contract between the Electricity Company of Ghana Limited. Then on 5 February 2025, the OSP responded to Mr. Oforiata, copied to his lawyers, that the OSP did not need or require notification from his lawyers of his arrival in the jurisdiction.
February Bosome Krono Amono National Chairman Trade Union Congress Ora Bernardo Wusu eda de sedia to mampani anim say eye abanda danem pensuo awa ba be free abenwa so akọ December Bosome de to sonson appointment bia no awoye no o de to anim say won hwe na o ntwa sa appointment nim.
Yeah, bought the previous MPP aban so bo and a bought NDC aban no so bo say when you know the didi won say 2017 Union Mubia ya fa wo ewo aban dwuma dwuma mu aban a oba so no eyi bi mu edi na aban a osisu sesi nso no media ono so betwam akono ono nso eyi di edi de ti use ye kan nyina ne se we di atwebra o di nyina no ye ma ye ye atwam akono yinjai na ye nko ye nim ekosi se di nyina no eye ganafo na se ganafo enya edwuma na se wo mu eya ekoba de se na ye se ye pamo mu na na wonko trefi na yesi ye pa abancho say yesre no minji ni say ade a ye research no ye research ko ni dadam ba ye research e ko nani
Abusia for February dey a dey be so mo ensema hodo a edi ne ho akotene e wo Akan kasebom no eno ene ye dey asom wasie abusia ye twa ye wotia wa ye ba pe March bosome Yamagana de hye nyina kwa aba de ba Akan prem to bra Akan kasebo so ebiem abusia for ene no ohwe obre no a donko abo apa ho kakra ni nyina ne se ye ka ye ho yaka ye ho January bosome mu ensama hodo de sommo Akan kasebo mu de ye ne ho opusu nyaka wo mu yabo de ewra February bosome mu afei yedru March bosome afei ni ye hye March bosome no de ase na yenkosoi sa omanfo beka yi a March bosome mu na ne omampani John Dramani Mahama ejira paso de aseda ensem ekoye edema otumfo se dutu ababi otosho mienu opemso santema wura se waya ade pa kwan ofa so a wo hwe ye se boko entokwasem a ekoso wo nyina no wo betimi ahwe aso ano Omampani John Dramani Mahama March bosome krono amu no kopie mu ewo fra mantamu ebra aturancha mu eyi ni ti won me yebie ehwu a ne etwire fa omanfo so ewo hono mu ene omo ekokasae.
Feasibility study is ready, the design is ready. We just have to allocate the funding so that the project will start. Happily, the finance minister next week is going to present the budget. So I'm going to ask the finance minister to include funding to start phase 2 of the Blekuso Sea Defense project. Before we came here, we went to the resettlement project that I believe or I've heard is being financed by Ghana Gas. I don't think the project was well thought through. The work is shoddy, and even the area where the resettlement is being built is a flat area. And so if it floods, it will affect those buildings too. And so those buildings are not fit for purpose. There are two things we need to do. Start the building of the phase 2 of the defense wall, but at the same time resettle those whose houses have been affected. And so we'll look for a more suitable site for the resettlement project.
Na se omanfo so beka ye ne March bosome da etoso ensia bra na omantiasema Ghana ye di ya woda biemu no Independence Day celebration no ye kai ya ekoso e wa bankasie mu se de be ya ye betimi twitwa ne amaso na e ka bebre no yetimi ateso.
Unfortunately, this year we're constrained not only to interrupt the celebrations rotation amongst the regions, but also to hold it on a scaled-down version here at the forecourt of the presidency instead of the traditional Black Star Square. This is necessary considering the economic crisis our nation is currently experiencing. The state spent 15 million Ghana cedis on last year's celebration in Koforidua and spent 13.7 million cedis on the previous year's celebration in in the Volta region. This year, we received estimates of at least 20 million Ghana cedis for holding the event at the Independence Square on the same scale as the previous years. In a year when we are calling on all to sacrifice, including workers who have graciously accepted a base pay adjustment far below the rate of inflation, it is unconscionable to spend that kind of money on a few hours of celebration. Today's event would save us 95% of the estimated cost of the event.
Na wo March bosome kro no amu no se o manfo be kai a Dr. Zenato Ajima Rollins eni emrahye bedwamu ensem bi ekoso wo no mutia no a na akwakwa ebi ti sa se eni ewudini ba saa na yansha da hu mrahye bedwafo bi potia ye be ka se sa asem ni firi wo ma no ba ntia nam so e ma ye nyina so eye Speaker of Parliament e de ba se saafo no mo kan sa no womo ena womo adi no
Mere culpa and opt for a plea bargain. Taking this step would demonstrate good faith and respect for parliamentary dignity, rather than awaiting the outcome of the ongoing investigation, which will ultimately uncover the member who made the statement. I take a very serious view of the matter, and failure to take advantage of this window of opportunity will lead to dire consequences if finally unraveled. I take this moment to once more urge all members of parliament to let our debate be vibrant but fair. Let our words be truthful, candid, and civil, and let our service to the people of Ghana always be guided by honor, integrity, and respect.
Well, yeah, March bosome kro no amu no ene edom kuma wa mra sebedwamu wo mo ebo ye mampani John Dramani Mahama somo pa wo mzizi ade wo ye terminator kase pa se wa wo se ye mo akwanya nto no ye magana fo ma adwumanye wo ba ye nso mo ya ma adwuma ye nso mo Ghana fo nso mo wo abanwuma kuo mo nso no wasa ba yi wo mo nyina afiri honom se ne be ya wo bebo akwanya ndi ato honom ndi ama wo NDC adehye we nyina ka sei na eye ne papa mu na wo predi ama Ghana adehye anasa etsenti ane Dr. Ami Adams e de ensem ekoye de man papa etubi mane no se wo ye terminator kire se wo no aba se wo ba be predi ama ne NDC amanyokuo no egita afo na emum no enye Ghana adehye ena aso wo pe o masem do o masem o pe so wo pe adwuma de emma wonum na ensem we nyina no eye William Gentu ena fe Emmanuel Akoli ena ede ebre yen na wo March bosome kro no amu no eye edom kuma ewo emrahye bedwamu wo mo ekiremu asika bi ase efa baabi ai no ye be se 2.7 billion enti omo allocate sa sika no 2.7 billion de akwa Jubilee House no eno na can say
papers office at the office of the research department, all of that 50 million cedis, and kept 20 million cedis. Office of Government Machinery, research department, maybe a head and 2 or 3 assistants sitting in one office, 70 million cedis. This is a government that wants to cut costs. Again, the same appendix, we have government communication. This is Salis Ofosukwache and Shamima Muslim. Government communication. They said they have collapsed Ministry of Information. They've saved money. Yet, under government communication, headed by Felix Ofosukwache, deputized by Shamima Muslim. Let's say they have 2 or 3 research assistants helping them, scrolling through social media, Ghana web, to see what is happening there to respond. They are giving them goods and services budget of 8.8 million cedis. Maybe they will use some to buy internet data to go to the internet, TikTok and co.
to respond to what minority is saying.
March Bosome Kronwa no na Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources wo mo de betu dwa say sisiano former goodie tuo enkrata semmia no a wo mo de ema campaigns bia na sa nkura bia ansa na December Bosome de to so enson anase December Bosome de to so nson achi wo mfepene ne aduonu nan mu eduru ye no ene na tell say womo ebetwa ne nyina mu entimi enye adwuma ebiem Minister wonmonyamfo Emmanuel Amakofibua ene de sa ensem we nyina no ebetu dwa ewo March Bosome kro no amu a eno nso yebo mu amane ede emamu
been a matter that we've been passionate about, thankfully in the light of day. But I'm afraid to say the Council of Fund is not enough. We can't rely on the Council of Fund at this time. This is a case of emergency. We are yet to even pass the budget. We are yet to pass the budget. And because it's an emergency, I want to implore the Minister that we have to work around the clock and find some oxygen to support our compatriots. Unfortunately, Minister, you put out some solutions. I was expecting that you define these solutions in the short term, medium term, and long term solution. Then we will know that in the next 1 month, this is what the ministry will be doing. Deal with it. Been a matter that
March Bosome Krono amu no enene edom kuma no wo motenetefo minority chief whip onmonyamfo Frank Anodompre wode eto asoye omohwe amanoni nkita wode ensem wanim suafo no wanim onmonyamfo Samolukuju tabla kwa anim say Ghana fo de hye bi wo no asisi a bebo omo de omo afiri US yaba eno no etesen ena sika ben wo mo hwe na wo motimi ede akofa wo mo de omo aba o Ghana ha no mo de aba o mo ho bra eno nso enwo ensem eba beto odwa ewo ye March Bosome Akan kasebo a ye de esom mu nyina ema eno nso yetwa ehwo nsem ede emamu
I'm afraid to say the Council of Fund is not enough. We can't rely on the Council of Fund at this time. This is a case of emergency. We are yet to even pass the budget. We are yet to pass the budget. And because it's an emergency, I want to implore the Minister that we have to work around the clock and find some oxygen to support our compatriots. Unfortunately, Minister, you put out some solutions. I was expecting that you define these solutions in the short term, medium term, and long term solution. Then we will know that in the next 1 month, this is what the ministry will be doing. Deal with it.
Na March Bosome Krono amu no enene edom kuma ba no dani ora Alexander Afenyo Markins wono nso de so mo obokọ ya de ma aban ne say wa shada bo apayo ni da ho woni kofodua ha akọtro no aka wontoma apama no en wo mo ede akwatia me na se bedwani enesi akumi ennam atete ni atepu emu yie pa wonyan na emwa.
The Minister of Interior was Parliament to answer questions regarding how the NIB attempted arresting Honorable Ernest-Kumi of Akwatia. We found it very strange that the Minister justified the actions of the National Investigation Bureau. Clearly, there is collusion between the government and the High Court Koforidua to use their own set of laws in our country. How can the minister tell us that the court order could be enforced by the National Security Coordinator's rep in Eastern Region, and the rep, upon receipt of the so-called court order, also forwarded it to the National Investigation Bureau?
Eya March Bosome Krono amu nso enye adisuafo be se aduonum mienu 52 students abasobonsam ekoye edema wo mo ewo 32nd President's Independence Day Awards a ekoso no ase. Value for money audit.
For excellence, you will get there. And as I used to tell my students on campus, you shoot for the moon. And if you don't get to the moon, make sure you land among the stars. Every talent is important. Whatever we can do that support others, that make others happy in the positive sense, is a blessing. So keep that one also in your minds. I have heard the speakers come in various languages, and they respectfully made their requests known about protection about good health, but what I found most important was their own admission that there was a role they had to play too. I think it's a lesson for all of us.
March bosome kronwa mu no 2025 budget by na akwamazika de baba boy ho bra on fempene ne arionu numu no ene ye nyina so ma kyerɛ aban no eyiyi levy ni firi hɔ no ma fa emission levy wo yi firi hɔ betting tax wo yi firi hɔ ne tax awodo bi a wogidi sɛ na ebu Ghana fo ekon mu no odwiri firi hɔ no.
We will abolish the 10% withholding tax on betting. We will abolish the electronic transfer levy, e-levy of 1%. We will abolish the emission levy, otherwise as in Wusie tax. We will abolish the VAT on motor vehicle insurance policy. Mr. Speaker, we will abolish the 1.5% withholding tax on unprocessed gold by small-scale miners.
Na enwachwe suafo a wohwe sika sam to yensem so no nyamfo Kaiser to forcing wasan de to dwa se anwonene atena ye no so aban na ni suade hunu ene se wobehwe na watimi ama na nya nyina so pa ni nyina no wone ankrankra adwuma ku awodo ebeto kese wosade no no maye.
Mr. Speaker, to address the energy sector challenges, including reducing the quantum of large energy sector shortfalls, the following energy sector recovery program interventions will be implemented this year. First, Mr. Speaker, ECG and NEDCO will implement a number of measures, including metering and implementation of private sector participation.
March bosome kronu amona omai Ghana sika krabia no amanado Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Esiama, ene wode eto Committee of Parliament yanim efa wono project ya edan a womo esie ni nyina eho na Dr. Esiama echiremu a said ye ebekọ architectural work engineering ene ne akeka ka ho no sika ekomu no eye sapepepe na wo se eye ana eho nsem
It was initiated before our tenure. We are fully aware of our responsibility to manage resources efficiently and to operate with transparency. Mr. Speaker, the reconstituted Bank of Ghana board will be sworn in next week, and the board will begin reviewing some of these legacy issues. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, we have scheduled for board agenda a detailed briefing on the new Bank of Ghana building by the project team members.
Na March bosome kronu amuonu na ene kane suafo ana wohwe sikasam do tuyensem so onwonyamfo Mohammed Amin Adams wode etu edwa se nyame anim nukure ne ndisifo ndwumenga se MPP amanyoko ofira abamu no na sikasam aye se esi one time wo se wo mu ja economy a na ejina na aso pa sika de wo mu ja wo mu bi.
The minister has confirmed to the whole world today that the economy we handed over to the NDC government was a strong economy. We have been telling Ghanaians that the economy was not in crisis. President Mahama used the soda to lament over an economy which was not in crisis. And yet he told Ghanaians the economy was in crisis.
Na March bosome kronu amu na newly appointed Inspector General of Police sabra na Posi fufro posi amnado ayi no kura posi sign na yi no kura COP Christian Teje Yowunu wode etu dwa se iya wo mayi no no kwa na home aka no na adwuma wo be bode ama ma ga na bambo nsem no enye bi kura ni.
So I assure you, Your Excellency, that professionalism, transparency, accountability and fairness shall underpin my administration and focus on renewing attitudes and performance, thereby positioning the service to meet the aspirations of our people and foster peace and security in our country. Reaffirm a fundamental truth. Policing is a shared and collective responsibility. Consequently, community engagement and community policing and partnership will be an essential strategy for communities to participate in crime prevention and fighting. I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to my family, colleagues, and loved ones for supporting me throughout my journey. Your guidance and trust have been instrumental in shaping me into the leader I am today. And I will continue to depend on your expertise